Good evening. All right, thank you very much, Mark. How are you? Brilliant. Good to hear. I started the Gibraltar Social Democrats. Oh, I started the Gibraltar Social Democrats because it's pretty apparent to everyone here that stagnation is rife in our community, in our politics, and that needs to change. And that's exactly what we've done. We're already beginning the scrutinisation of the previous government and the Gibraltar First Party. And we'll carry on doing that, whether we're in government or whether we're in opposition. There were outcries from many individuals of the community for a new party and a new party from me. I came and I answered. Well, Ben is an extremely capable minister. He's got a fantastic record. He's got a brilliant sort of experience. He's got the skills needed. And I mean, I believe that with the cabinet that I've curated and the cabinet that will be released soon, we can fulfill our mission to the highest possible standards. Well, we see that in the fact that the opposition has given Gibraltar First a free pass. Let's get this straight. The governance of Gibraltar has been lackluster. The legislation presented has been lackluster. The opposition has been lackluster. And now we're going to be seeing a new chief minister and a new leader of Gibraltar First try and recycle the same old poor, well, not poor, but mediocre governance that will lead nowhere but continued stagnation. We can't allow that to happen, and that is why I'm proposing that we are the change. Well, that's simple. Well, depending on the amount of seats we win, we should be able to have robust debates in the legislature. We should also be more transparent, and that is why, alongside many other policies, we will reform government transparency, as I did in the United Kingdom, and as I will do if I enter the government as the Chief Minister. As at the end of the day, transparency is the key to information. It's the key aspect of the opposition being able to scrutinise the government. And so if we unlock a new level of transparency, we'll unlock a new potential to scrutinise. And if we are able to do that, it allows for greater change and it allows for a greater Gibraltar. It depends who comes out as the largest party. Because frankly, the Labour Party pose no opposition, and neither does the Alliance Party. Let's get this straight. Both of them have been completely abysmal in their duties as opposition, and that is something that I would change if I was opposition. We are prepared to enter government, we are prepared to enter opposition, but let's get this straight. No matter what position we are in, we will fight for change, we will fight to unleash Gibraltar's potential. That is exactly what my party and what my government and my opposition would fight for. Well, the fact is that Moreau, or however you pronounce his name, is more of the same, isn't he? He's more of the same that we saw last. In the last government, what we need is we need a break from the same, because that normality that Gibraltar versus the government, it has made them complacent. And because the opposition has not been there, it has fed into their complacency. And now they can pass the policy that they want with little to no consequence because there is no one to challenge. I will challenge them, and that is a promise. Well, him visiting 40 states or doing 40 state visits is, well, what you're meant to be doing as the foreign minister. But even when he did that, his effort was lackluster. There were reports from the civil service and from previous UK government ministers that showed that he, in fact, attended a UK meeting just for a photo op for him to then leave because he didn't have anything to talk about. So how do we even know what meaningful conversation went on in those foreign meetings? No, we don't, because they've not been transparent about it. What will happen when we are government is that we will be transparent about those meetings. And if there is no reason for us to meet, we won't. We won't meet them for a photo op because, oh, well and good, but that's not progress. We want progress and we want to start a movement where we unleash Gibraltar's potential, and wasting time on photo ops will not allow us to do that. They've had 83% approval ratings because who else are you comparing them to? Nobodies. You're comparing them to nobodies. Let's get this straight. Gibraltar First was the better of two evils last election. They were the better of two evils last term. However, when you're comparing a rust bucket to a bicycle, people would pick the bus bucket any day. That doesn't mean that they're any good. It doesn't mean that they can do their job properly. But you would rather have the rust bucket because there's a roof, there's doors, and there's some sort of heating. It's more comfortable and it's easier going. You don't want to go on the bicycle because it can get wet and your bum will hurt. So when you're comparing a mediocre party to parties that are absolutely abysmal, of course they're going to get high ratings, because what else is there to approve of? And the reason why I should be Chief Minister is because I have a vision. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have a vision. People can accuse me of being a career politician all they want. I'm not. I do it for the fun, and I do it because I want to see other people have fun. And let's get this straight. No one will have fun if we carry on with the stagnation. And I am the one that can end it once and for all. I will not recycle policies from the previous administration, but I will in fact move ahead with a strong vision to unleash Gibraltar's potential. Oh, well, of course I'm going to stand up for my values. Everyone can be the new kid in town. Gibraltar First was the new kid in town. But that doesn't mean that we're wrong. Just because we're the new kid in town doesn't mean we're wrong. We're actually already close to 30 members. And we've been open for 1 day now. And while that may only be half of the vote that they got Gibraltar First got last election, we've not even started the campaign period, and we've already seen that growth of membership. We've got people that have come to us and they say, your vision is right. We need to start a movement and we need to end the stagnation. And that is what drives me, that's what drives my cabinet, and that's what drives our party and our principles. Well, let's get this straight right now. And I personally believe that justice in the Commonwealth is at an all-time threat. We've got the United Kingdom government, let's get this straight, trying to abolish a tier of the judicial system. That is radical, that is ridiculous, and it is not helping our values for rule of law that is embedded in the Crown, a Crown that unites the Commonwealth, that we respect the rule of law when we have our own judicial system that's not even been set up because we've had an absolutely abysmal Minister of Justice that passes the blame on everyone else, including the UK government. Then we've got the UK government, who is the beacon of the Commonwealth, that is willing to abolish the high courts of the United Kingdom. Justice has never ever been in such a dire place in our world stage in the Commonwealth, and we will change that. We will not stand by and we will not be complicit, because the rule of law is vital. The rule of law is the foundation for our principles and the foundation of the Crown that unites all of our Commonwealth realms, and we will not allow it to be trashed by another Gibraltar First government or by any other government in the Commonwealth. Well, the thoughts on the interior policy is something that I cannot knock. What they have done is they've reopened, vital emergency services. But to what extent? Have they done? Have they done the work? Sorry, sorry. Someone just came into my room. What extent have they carried on with their policies? What extent? And what quality have they executed it to? Because we've not seen any opposition. We've not seen anything. They've been allowed to go to and fro. And while you could claim that the interior policies are the highlights of the previous government's tenure, how well is it actual? Below the surface, if you do a little bit of digging, how good is it actually? Because I can't imagine it being tremendous. And that is something we will do. That's something my minister for the Interior will do. And even if we're in the opposition, we will fight to see the extra information that the people don't get. And that is something that drives our movement. The lack of transparency, the lack of scrutiny. We will find a way to unleash the potential of Gibraltar's interior. My first act as Chief Minister will be to kiss the hand of Helen Cathcart. But joking aside, my first act as Chief Minister will be to meet with foreign delegates. Kiss his hand. We will be meeting with foreign delegates. That will most likely be the case. I will get the briefing, and we will start on the vital work, because we've got so much work that we will do, and my policy platform is not out. But once our manifesto is released, and once we have our rallies, you will know exactly what my first step will be. And that is to create a platform and a foundation for a fantastic government, whether it's our government or the next government. No, because we'll be getting down to business. We'll be getting down to business, and we'll be saying, this is what we stand for, and this is what hopefully you'll join us in standing for. I will definitely be speaking with my foreign minister regarding the situation in the United Kingdom with the justice, because we need to remind ourselves that the Commonwealth is a community. The Commonwealth is a family united by a crown, and the crown represents everything brilliant about the Commonwealth. And something that's brilliant about the Commonwealth is the rule of law. And if the UK government think that they can affront the rule of law, then we'll have to talk about that, because we cannot allow for their Ministry of Justice to go up in arms, because that doesn't benefit them, that doesn't benefit our residents living in living in the United Kingdom, and it doesn't benefit the Commonwealth as a whole and the symbol of justice. But we will be very busy. All I focus on, I will focus on securing a foundation for governments to come. I don't really want to spoil, but we've got so many things in the works in terms of just overall government maintenance. We will be more transparent, and there will be overhauls to government transparency if I become Chief Minister. We will also make sure that our business, our high street, is booming, because that's the stuff that counts, not the photo op foreign visits. We will look at it at the time comes where with the general election results. Because I'm of the opinion that the opposition, as a current Labour and Alliance, we could form a minority government, and the only problem would be Gibraltar first. And even then, I think that we can come to a conclusion whether we're in government together or not. Well, the thing is, I'm not going to give you the ins and outs of my legislation because we've not released a manifesto. We will overhaul transparency. We will actually give a foundation for our foreign and diplomatic affairs. We will establish, I'm trying to think of how to say it without completely spoiling. Well, I suppose you should spoil it. We will strive to establish. We will strive to establish a civil service. That's what we will strive to establish. I wasn't thinking about leaking that today, but in this interview, I think maybe the people deserve. We will establish a civil service, and we will establish it to a level that is comparable to larger nations. These are some flagship policies. There would be no ministry for the civil service because that's just the duty of His Majesty's government. It will not be directly headed by a minister, by myself. But the plan is for a senior civil servant to do the day-to-day duties, such as similar to how the Cabinet Secretary does it in the United Kingdom. It's under the preface of His Majesty's government. Well, I believe that they're hand in hand the same, really, apart from the fact that Moreau's chaos is silent chaos, and that chaos under me would be would be completely eradicated, because we would have a stable term, and we'd have a transparent term, and we'd have a term where we welcome opposition instead of trying to use attack ads to try and dissuade people. Well, once again, they're hand in hand the same. Well, I think Moreau, unfortunately, has the edge on this. I think that they're both pretty mediocre, but I think Labour is mediocre, bordering abysmal. However, Moreau is just floating above that line. So, unfortunately, I'd have to give it to him. Mm-hmm. I've enjoyed it. Thank you for your time as well. Thank you very much.